welcome. You're watching News9 Live with me, Neha Khanna. On the show, we're going to focus on the one big controversy that has rocked the world of Indian wrestling. The Wrestling Federation of India chief and BJP MP Brij Bhushan Singh, who is in the eye of a storm over sexual harassment allegations levelled against him by 7 women wrestlers, has now propounded a conspiracy theory. First, he claimed that one particular family and one akhada or wrestling arena was out to malign him by plotting a conspiracy and getting fake complaints lodged against him. In fact, he also claimed that 90% of the athletes and their guardians trust the Wrestling Federation and that all the women who have complained against him are from one family and the same akhada. Now he says, and I quote, "The entire world knows that all these women are from the Mahadev Wrestling Academy and Congress leader Deepender Hooda is the patron of that akhada." He then goes on to say the protesters have now started speaking against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which should be taken note of as the protesters are also employees of the Indian Railways. And there is more. When asked why Akhilesh Yadav, the Samajwadi Party chief, did not go to the protesting wrestlers at Jantar Mantar in Delhi, even though several other opposition leaders did, Brij Bhushan Singh said, Yadav knows the truth. Singh has also claimed that one businessman is part of the conspiracy to tarnish his image. On Friday, 2 FIRs were registered against him by the Delhi police after the intervention of the Supreme Court amid protests by top wrestlers including Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik and Vinesh Fogart. One of the FIRs is over a complaint of sexual harassment by a minor filed under the Stringent Protection of Children from Sexual Offences or POCSO Act, which gives no scope for bail. So what happens next in this case? Let's first listen in to what Brij Bhushan Singh said.
हरियाणा के 90% खिलाड़ी और गार्जियन भारतीय कुश्ती संघ के ऊपर भरोसा करते हैं और विश्वास करते हैं। ये एक चंद परिवार है, जैसे एक चंद परिवार है और जितनी लड़कियां निकल करके आई हैं आरोप लगाने वाली, वो एक ही अखाड़े की हैं, एक ही अखाड़े की हैं। और कल बजरंग पूनिया ने सवाल किया था कि हमको कैसे पता चला कि वो एक ही अखाड़े के हैं, क्योंकि हमको नहीं, सारी दुनिया को पता है महादेव रेसलिंग एकेडमी की ही सारी लड़कियां हैं और जिस एकेडमी के कर्ता धर्ता संरक्षण दाता सब कुछ जो है दीपेंद्र हुड्डा है। इंसाफ जंतर मंतर से नहीं मिलता है, इंसाफ मांग लेना है तो आपको पुलिस में जाना पड़ेगा, आपको जो है कोर्ट में जाना पड़ेगा। आज तक ये गए नहीं, गाली पर गाली दे रहे हैं, अब कोर्ट पर गए हैं और कोर्ट जो करेगा उस फैसले को हम लोग मानेंगे।
विपक्ष वहां पे आरोप लगा, लेकिन
अरे विपक्ष छोड़िए,
ये सवाल उसी में देखा कि समाजवादी पार्टी या अखिलेश यादव में से कोई वहां पे नहीं गया। उन्होंने
अखिलेश यादव सच्चाई को जानते हैं, वो मुझे बचपन से जानते हैं, हम उन्हें बचपन से जानते हैं। और यहाँ जो रेसलिंग करते हैं उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर, उसमें 80% बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो समाजवादी पार्टी के विचारधारा वाले परिवार से रहते हैं। वो सब बच्चे मुझे प्यार से नेताजी कहते हैं, वो बताते हैं कि नेताजी हमारे कैसे हैं।
All right, so in the eye of a storm, facing several serious allegations of sexual harassment levelled by as many as 7 women wrestlers, including a minor, Brij Bhushan Singh is now propounding a conspiracy theory. What do our guests make of it? Let's find out. Joining me on the show, Chandrasekhar Luthra, senior sports journalist, Suresh Koshatil, political analyst, and also Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst and Congress supporter, is with us. Chandrasekhar Luthra, let me start with you. For the last 2 days, Brij Bhushan Singh has not only been making a lot of insinuations, he is now actually training his guns on one particular political family in Haryana, on one particular akhada, and he says this is all a conspiracy to malign his image. All the wrestlers who are protesting and who have complained come from that akhada. You know, at a time when the man faces such serious allegations, how seriously should his conspiracy theory be taken?
That's what all the wrestlers have been saying. They have been threatened by his goons. Even their parents or their relatives there in the village, they have also been getting these threatening calls, and they all know how serious threat this could be. We all know he's a Bahubali Neta. He's not some normal person. 6-time MP and 12 years for last 12 years he is holding fourth in Wrestling Federation of India. And despite all the controversies, nobody can touch him, right now. And also, it's a catch-22 situation also. I'm not a political analyst, but let me tell you, everybody sitting there on the dharna, they also understand it's a catch-22 situation for even Prime Minister, whom they have been, appealing every time that Beti Bachao, Beti Badhao, this is your slogan, not our slogan. So why don't you join us also? But they also understand on 11th or 13th, whatever, I think 11th of May, there is a municipal elections in UP. And he, this guy is not just MP, but also he's like, Ajay Singh Teni kind of, who can sweep elections despite, his son has done that, all those things, killed all those people, Kisans. So they also understand if we remove him, if we arrest him, that is going to cost us, heavily in political scenario. So this is the way. No, and in normal circumstances, you have to understand if there is a POCSO kind of situation or any allegations against any person or FIR has been filed, you are arrested immediately. But this is New India where only the sloganeering is there and no real action. It's a New India. Sadly, we are witnessing this kind of situation in India right now.
There was supposed to be an election held for the Wrestling Federation India chief on the 7th of May. That has been declared null and void. It'll be at least another 45 days before we know who is going to succeed Brij Bhushan Singh. And what I find most amusing, and okay, quick response from you, Chandar, before I go across to the other. What I find most amusing is the man says, I am willing to step down if they end their protest. Fact of the matter is the man has held this position for 12 consecutive years, and according to the sports code, he is anyway not eligible to contest the next election.
People in BJP or ruling party, they have been saying that, he's ready to resign. Or there is no point of resigning. His tenure is already over. It is a question of arresting him. It is a question of, protecting your wrestlers, and not just normal wrestlers. They are international level champions. They are world champions, Asian champions, Commonwealth champions. And you have not been able to protect them. And whosoever says that, anyway, he's going to go, from the Wrestling Federation, let me tell you, his son is going to be the next, president of Wrestling Federation. Everybody knows that. Unless somebody steps in, some big name comes in, his son is going to take over. And then Brij Bhushan in any way will be a proxy.
So he will then rule by proxy. If his son does take over as the WFI chairman or president, then he continues to rule by proxy. Okay, Suresh Kochatel, come in here. Some of the wrestlers who are protesting at Jantar Mantar for days now include the likes of Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Fogart. These are people, these are sports persons who have won medals for India at the Commonwealth Games, at the Olympics, at World Wrestling Championships. Does Brij Bhushan Singh really want us to believe that these medal-winning athletes, the biggest names in the wrestling world in India, are puppets of a political family and doing all this to further the political agenda of that family, leveling such serious accusations as sexual harassment against him? And one of the complainants we all know is a minor, which is why Brij Bhushan Singh now faces a POCSO case.
Well, I think let me clarify here. I think
the
sports correspondent who mentioned this, saying that after FIR is filed, somebody has to be arrested immediately. I think he doesn't understand how the CRPC works. The CRPC needs an investigation. The investigation has to be done after the statements are given by those who have made the accusation. In this case, they are not ready to give their statements. They want him to be arrested first, which won't work. That is why you see the Supreme Court has also not really gone into the depth of it. They know that what is happening there. These people all had the sympathies a couple of weeks ago. The problem, the sympathy started dropping when you had people like Papu Singh, Priyanka Vadra, we had Arvind Kejriwal all stepping in. Then the slogans of Modi tere ko khabar kho denge. What are you trying to say? Okay, you may have an angst to grind against Brij Bhushan, but abusing the Prime Minister of India in a public forum? Do you think the International Wrestling Federation will take all this lightly? I mean, there is something called discipline. End of the day, you have a thing, you make it. Last time they made it very clear. They didn't allow any political person to step into that. We saw this time that even the Communist Party, everybody was there. Everybody was there. Last time they drove these people out. They had the right sympathies. This time they've gone to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has asked the Delhi police to file an FIR. An FIR has been done. Statements are to be taken. Once the statements are done, taken, then there's a corroboration process based on which the police take a decision to arrest. The arrest is not the important thing. He can be released on bail. You mentioned about POCSO. POCSO evidence also is very, very strict. It is not that somebody makes an allegation against somebody in your organization tomorrow and the person will be arrested. No, that has to be corroborated. It is like the SC/ST Act. It has to be corroborated very well,
Okay,
and only
point
based
taken.
on that
But sir,
evidence can be done. Somebody,
okay,
anybody can make allegations against anybody. I'm not holding a brief for
okay,
this
but
gentleman.
with due
Brij
respect,
Bhushan.
with due
I mean,
respect,
if
sir,
you question
can
about,
I just come in here with a follow-up question? With due respect, I'm not condoning the use of abusive language against anyone, leave alone the Prime Minister of India. But I want to ask you a simple question, sir. We know that this isn't the first time that these top wrestlers have taken to the streets. They were at Jantar Mantar in the month of January too. After all sorts of assurances came from the sports ministry, they called off the protest. Nothing changed. That is what forced them to come back, is what they say. Now tell me, sir, when the biggest names in Indian wrestling, people who've won medals for us at the Olympics, have to repeatedly knock on the doors of the Delhi police and are still turned away. The Delhi police refuses to even register an FIR, and eventually it takes the intervention of the Supreme Court of India to get an FIR registered in a case which involves very serious allegations of sexual harassment. Don't you think that tells us a lot about the state of affairs in our country? That if such big names are leveling an allegation and the Delhi police refuse to even register an FIR, so the question everybody is asking is, where does the common citizen of this country go?
exactly. You remember this Me Too allegation that had surfaced in the media against certain media personalities. I don't want to take the names here. What happened to those cases? They went to the court, and finally the court found that they were all kind of prejudice cases. I'm not holding a brief again for what happened here. I'm not talking about the wrestlers here. One, the matter is sub judice. You and me cannot actually comment on it. We can only infer and we can make our opinions felt. Let us be very clear. The Indian Olympic Association has a committee that deals with all this. They didn't go to that committee. 3 months ago, we had another committee with Mary Com and others who were set up to inquire the same allegations. And they came out with the report saying there's nothing in this.
So the
So
report
you're saying
findings have
Mary
not
Com
even
is
been
wrong?
made public. One of the demands of the protesting wrestlers is the report was submitted in the first week of May. It has not even been made public. These are just leaks that have come out in the media saying they found nothing. And I don't think it is correct to say that they did not testify before the committee. What they're saying is the report is not yet out. And again, with due respect, sir, when you say, during the Me Too movement, matters reached the court and the courts found that there was prejudice in those allegations, I beg to differ, sir. I don't remember any court in this country ruling in any Me Too case that the allegations were motivated. If anything, you would recall, sir, that Priya Ramani won the defamation case that had been filed against her by a very senior journalist who also happens to be a former union minister. So let's get our facts right here. Let's not get carried away here. You are entitled to your opinion, but we can't invent facts. Tehseen Poonawala, come in here. I want you to address specifically the allegation that Brij Bhushan Singh has leveled against the Hooda family. These are leaders that belong to the Congress party, the party that you support. He says Deepender Hooda in particular is responsible for this conspiracy to malign him because the Hooda family patronizes the Mahadev Academy or Akhada in Haryana, and that all of these wrestlers who are today protesting come from that Akhada. So it's all politics, he says, and he's named Congress leaders. Your response?
Thank you, Neha. Not only am I a supporter of the Congress party, which I always put up front, I'm also part of Insaf Ke Sipahi, the organization founded by Kapil Sibalji, and he is leading this case in the Honorable Supreme Court. So first, let me just put the legal aspect out, because a lot of WhatsApp history was right now put out on your channel. One, repeatedly, High Courts and the Supreme Court has come down in case of in the POCSO Act, that giving somebody bail immediately after arresting on the POCSO is not the way, is against the spirit of the Act. So the gentleman prior to me who says, oh, the bail can be granted immediately, has perhaps never read a law book or any judgment in his life. It is against the spirit of the Act. It's another matter that's unfortunate that this government has refused to act. Point number 2. These are minor girls. Since 2016, they've been making these allegations. Not only have they made these allegations, the POCSO Act very strictly says that when they've made the allegations to whoever's the head, whether the Honorable MP Brij Bhushan Singh ji is innocent or guilty, an investigation is mandated. No investigation was carried out by a third party. That is against the spirit of the Act. Only for that reason should the MP be kicked out of the position he's holding. But not only that, these girls also told the most Honorable Prime Minister when they met them some time ago about these allegations on the Honorable MP, which is why the Honorable Prime Minister's office has not acted, and that is another question. Number 3, the Honorable Supreme Court is not taking these allegations very lightly, as was sought to be put on your very reputed channel. Kapil Sibal is fighting it. The Supreme Court came down with a heavy hand. Tushar Mehta, the SG, told the Supreme Court FIR will be filed. Give us the period. Within the period the FIR was filed. It is a matter of shame he is not arrested. We will take up the matter on Thursday. The matter is now sub judice and that will be followed. Let's come to the next allegation. Priyanka Gandhi has gone to the venue. Arvind Kejriwal ji has gone to the venue. XYZ has gone to the venue. For 3 months, these athletes were protesting. 3 months, they were protesting. They didn't allow a single protester to come to the venue, not even Vijendra Singh. Vijendra Singh is a medal winner for the country. But because he contested on a political party, in this case the Congress's ticket, they requested him not to come. They didn't politicize it. For 3 months, the entire country was quiet. Today you are blaming them for politicians coming. Are they not part of this system? Are they not part of we the people? Are politicians not part of we the people? Does the constitution debar opposition? What sort of nonsense is going on? Next, there were allegations made that there were slogans against our Honorable Prime Minister. Totally deplorable. It should not happen. I spoke to Delhi police officers off the record. You know what they say? These slogans were put in by people who are supporters of the Honorable MP. Why hasn't one person been arrested if such slogans were made? It hasn't been arrested because it was done to spoil the name of the movement. Just as in Shaheen Bagh, people were sent in burqas, they came out to be somebody else. At the farm protests, some people were sent to disrupt the farm protests, and all these people were caught. These athletes, we've told them, catch the people who are intruding and trying to create mischief, because this is happening purposefully. This is a toolkit or the full kit of the BJP. Next question. This is a Haryana issue. During the farm issue, Punjab is wrong. Today, Haryana is wrong. Tomorrow, Karnataka is wrong. In Nandini issue, somebody else, Maharashtra is wrong. Only the BJP is correct. Every other state is wrong. Only what the BJP wants is correct. Last point. Hooda is supporting one particular akhada. Okay. Let Hooda support on akhada. Was Mr. Hooda since 2016 supporting it? Did these girls make an allegation, minor girls, of molestation and sexual harassment? Yes or no? Did you fulfill your legal obligations or no? And if you would have, you could have got Hooda in trouble. You haven't done anything. Today, when the opposition, when people like Insaf Ke Sipai from Insaf Ke Sipai, when Kapil Sibal is going to Supreme Court, all you all are doing is sitting on national television with one of the best anchors in the country, Neha, and you all are running down people? And you all are calling people names. You all are saying that people don't have credibility. What credibility do you have? Why is Mr. Brij Bhushan Singh still the president of the federation? Why is his son the vice president of the federation? Can we have answers to these questions?
Okay, a lot of points made there by Tehseen Poonawalla. I will get the other guests to respond to those. Chandrasekhar Luthra, let me come back to you at this point. Of course, this entire argument about how politicians are now landing up in Jantar Mantar and therefore these wrestlers and their protest is losing credibility. As has been rightly pointed out, they had kept it strictly apolitical back in January.
Absolutely.
They waited for 3 months. Nothing happened, nothing changed, despite assurances that they had got from the sports ministry and the sports minister himself. It is only now that they have decided everybody is welcome, including the BJP. The other question that is being raised, Chandrasekhar Luthra, is this. What is it about Brij Bhushan Singh that makes him untouchable? Yes, he is a 6-time member of parliament belonging to the ruling party. Yes, he has been WFI president for 3 consecutive terms. But why was it so difficult for the Delhi police to even register an FIR against him till the Supreme Court of India intervened? And even so far, we've seen no real action against him, leave alone an arrest.
Well, let me tell you that I completely back what Tehseen has said, and thank you very much, Tehseen, for underlining all these facts. But also I want to rebut what BJP spokesperson or supporter was saying. If there is some journalist who is covering Hathras going there, he can be arrested without any investigation. If our friend like fact checkers, Mohammed Zubair, he was jailed for almost 1.5 years or whatever, only on the fake tweet of somebody, which that handle was inactive after a day or so. They only tweeted about him and police has arrested. So this kind of people, this kind of investigation, our New India is witnessing. So, but anyway, let me come to this wrestling federation thing. Everybody knows what kind of person Mr. Brij Bhushan Singh is. Every girl knew during any of the tournaments or in the camps, Mr. Brij Bhushan Singh used to stay right in the middle room of a hotel. If there are 6-7 rooms on that corridor, 3-4 girls will be on this side, 3-4 girls will be on this side, and Brij Bhushan Singh used to stay there. Everybody objected. There was no committee then to investigate. And when this Sakshi Malik, and note this point also, the supporter of BJP, this Sakshi Malik was part of sexual harassment committee. Mr. Brij Bhushan Singh, when this thing surfaced, referred this entire case to Sakshi Malik. And this is again, all absurd thing that we could hear, But the point is, this is about not the normal girls, which Prime Minister says, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. These are about his family members. Mr. Prime Minister called Vinesh Phogat as his family member. And they are not just the ordinary women of this country. They are medal winners. No BJP or no Congress or no other party can claim that they have got so much of pride for this country. Let me tell you, in 2016, I was there in Rio. We were almost without a medal for first 10-12 days. Then Sakshi Malik, this was the same Sakshi Malik who got us the first medal, the bronze medal. And suddenly on that day, we were all, singing, national anthem and everything with pride. And what happened on the arena? Mr. Brij Bhushan Singh, when she wanted to speak to all of us, there were 10, 15 journalists standing there. She was running towards us. She was brought into tears. She was scolded like anything that let president speak to them first. You are not a hero here. This kind of situation we have witnessed on the ground, on the field. And they talk about this India or the investigation. If Tejinder Bagga is being arrested somewhere, the Supreme Court or Delhi police will intervene. You think we all are fools? And only this ruling party is the only one who will decide who is going to wear what and who is going to eat what.
Okay. Let me now get a response from Suresh Kochatil, since both of you have obviously expressed strong disagreement with his argument. Mr. Kochatil, you can of course respond to what Tehseen Poonawala and Chandrasekhar Luthra has said. But before that, sir, I want to read out an important quote to you. Have you heard of a man called Paramjeet Malik? He is a physiotherapist with the wrestlers who was present at the national camp in Lucknow in 2014, sir. In an interview to the Indian Express, Paramjeet Malik has said at least 3 junior women wrestlers at the camp told him how they faced pressure and were asked to meet Brij Bhushan Singh at night. He says the girls had cried while confiding in their seniors about their ordeal. Paramjeet Malik goes on to say he had shared the information with the then women's coach Kuldeep Malik, but no action was taken. Are we really to believe, sir, that the top wrestlers of this country, people who've won plaudits for us, who've won laurels for us, who've won medals for us at the World Wrestling Championship, at the Commonwealth Games, at the Olympics, and their physiotherapist, they're all part of one big conspiracy to tarnish this man?
Now, let me clarify a couple of things. I'm not a BJP spokesperson, as much as your sports correspondent sounded like a Congress spokesperson. He should have expressed his point of view instead of abusing Prime Minister Modi, BJP.
Okay, point taken. No personal attacks. I request all my panelists
there was a
to refrain from making personal attacks. Okay, point taken.
I thought you heard the attack against me. I mean, unless you were muted at that point in time. There were allegations against me made saying I'm a BJP spokesperson. I'm not.
Absolutely. No,
Let
no,
me
I just
clarify
said
that point.
whomsoever.
As
No,
much
no,
as he
it was
said
not
that the
a
Prime Minister
pointed.
is not doing anything, the Prime Minister was complained. Let us leave it
Absolutely.
to the investigation agency. I don't hold a brief for this guy. I told you at the start of the program. What I'm trying to say is the involvement of political parties has muddied the entire thing. Okay, you've gone to the Supreme Court has seized of the issue. Then what's the problem? If the investigation does not happen, go to the court. And here, Tehsil Poonawalla conveniently says that he spoke to the Delhi police and Delhi police confirmed to him. Let him name those Delhi police officers. Conveniently, he says off the record, and everyone knows his thing. I also can claim I spoke to the Delhi police and they said this. It is ridiculous. I mean, there was slogan shouting there. Do you think these wrestlers will allowed anybody from his camp to sit there? No way. This is what I'm trying to say. Yes, they have a genuine allegation. They should get it investigated. And let them go back to section 184 and 183 of the POCSO Act and let us look at those evidences also. It is not an automatic arrest. Please let us get it very, very clear. Okay, because that section was misused for some time earlier in the Kerala case too. And that is why the Supreme Court and the respective high courts have held that there has to be a thorough investigation before the POCSO Act is invoked.
Okay, Mr.
You
Kochati,
can register
can I
a
ask
case,
you
but
another
it has to be
question, sir?
investigated.
Okay, point taken. I am not saying that anybody should be thrown behind bars unless there is at least prima facie evidence of wrongdoing. And before I take this back to Tehseen, I want to ask you a larger question, sir. The perception that has formed is that Brij Bhushan Singh is being protected because he enjoys political patronage. He is a powerful man who is a 6-time member of parliament, belongs to the ruling party, is quite an influential figure. He's also been at the helm of the Wrestling Federation of India for 12 consecutive years. He enjoys way too much political protection and patronage. That's why nobody wants to touch him. Do you not believe, sir, that from the viewpoint of the ruling party and the government, this just sends out a very wrong message?
Well, I'm telling you, I don't hold a brief for why you call me to ask me my opinion on this issue.
I'm asking you for your opinion, sir. I'm saying
not about
that
Brij
is...
Bhushan Sharma.
No,
Not
sir,
about
I'm
Brij
saying
Bhushan
that
Sharma.
is the perception that is formed. I just want your opinion on that.
Everybody has a right to their viewpoint. I agree with you. We live in a democracy. Everybody has a right to point. As much as Sharad Pawar was ICC chief, when, for how long, and we know how BCCI, what all happens in it. We know every other federation, including Football Federation with Priyaranjan Das Munshi and others being there from donkey's years. All these are known very well. I'm not saying that this guy is, bathed in milk and he's the most honest guy in the world. But I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that, yes, if the wrestlers had a protest, they had various avenues to go. They went to the Supreme Court.
They tried those avenues. They went to the Delhi police, they went to the National Commission for Women, they went to the Delhi Commission for Women. They had to finally last week knock on the doors of the Supreme Court. Only then did the Delhi police register an FIR, and they have gone to the sports minister, sir. It is only after that that this committee headed by MC Mary Kom was set up. The committee submitted its report in the first week of April. The report findings haven't been made public yet. Are you really telling me, sir, that they were sitting on their hands all this while and now they are making wild allegations?
Why didn't they go to the Supreme Court 3 months ago?
Sir, because they were given assurances by no less than the sports minister of this country
forget the assurances,
that justice would be given.
You need to connect the dots. There are elections due in Uttar Pradesh, there are elections due in Haryana in certain places. These are all part of, again, I don't hold a brief for this guy. If he's corrupt, if he's morally incompetent or whatever you want to call him, sack him, put him behind bars, do whatever you want.
Okay, join the dots. There are elections coming up in Haryana, says Mr. Kochatil. So, sir, let's face it, then you are saying that all these wrestlers, including the Olympic gold medalists that we're talking about, are political puppets. They're all working to a political agenda. All right, Tehseen Poonawalla.
Why did they call politicians to the venue? Simple question.
Sir,
why did they call? If they are not political,
sir, it's already been explained. It's already been argued.
They know that the entire
they had kept everyone away in January. When nothing happened for 3 months, that's when they decided they needed more support. Okay, Tehseen Poonawalla.
You ask a third person now, and they'll tell you that the moment the politicians entered, the game changed. The game changed. Even the Supreme Court will tell you, if you go to the Supreme Court today, the Supreme Court will ask one simple question: what were these politicians doing there?
Let's see if the Supreme Court asks that question, sir. Please don't second guess what the Supreme Court of India will do. Let's wait to see what the Supreme Court is going to say.
I thought you also did in terms of many other points. You said we all are second guessing here. None of us.
You are now second guessing the Supreme Court of India, sir. I won't dare to second guess the top court of this country. Let the court take its own view, sir. I'll tell you what the Supreme Court of India did say. This is not a figment of my imagination. The Supreme Court said these are very serious allegations. We need to look into the matter, and it is after this sort of response from the Delhi police that the Delhi police registered 2 FIRs on Friday. Tehseen Poonawala come in here, respond to everything that Suresh Kochitel is saying. He is linking it to Haryana elections, saying please join the dots. The conspiracy is very clear.
Absolutely. Let's take what Mr. Suresh ji said on face value. Let's take it and let's play the devil's advocate. So because Haryana elections are next month or whenever that it is, I don't know when are the Haryana elections. These girls since 2016 are making allegations because in 2016 they knew that Haryana elections are going to come in 2023 and Deepender Hooda will need their help. So they started making allegations in 2016. Therefore, in 2016, when Sakshi Malik won a medal and she came to speak to the media, the president pushed her away. Therefore, in 2016, 17, 18, the president of the Wrestling Federation of India had his room in between the rooms of all the girls because in 2023, there was going to be an election in Haryana where Deepender Hooda would need their help. I mean, that's the logic. Now, let's come to the second part. Why did they go to the Supreme Court of India? They didn't go to the Supreme Court of India earlier. Let me explain a little bit of law because you know what happens is we do a lot of man ki baat, which we forget what is kaam ki baat. You cannot go to the Supreme Court just like that. You have to go through process. When all processes let you down, that's when you go to the highest court of the land, the apex court of the land. You just don't walk into the Supreme Court of India like that and say, I have a problem. When all processes are failed, your fundamental rights, including your right to life, liberty, and dignity. Article 21, the mother of all constitutional rights. Article 19, freedom of speech is violated. Article 14, right to equality and justice is violated. You have no other avenues to redress it. Then you go to the Supreme Court. And all forums that Neha, you put forward here were put before the Honorable Supreme Court by Kapil Sibal. He said where all they went. The Supreme Court took cognizance of it and was absolutely furious that these girls did not get justice. That's when Tushar Mehta said, look, we will file an FIR within 24 hours. Now let's come to the third point, the POCSO Act. If an FIR was filed, if this man is innocent, if the investigation has not yet done, why did you file the FIR? Why did Delhi police file the FIR? Why did Tushar Mehta say the FIR will be filed? It obviously filed it on the basis of certain amount of information and certain amount of collaboration. If it didn't, why would it file an FIR and file under other sections? The fact is standing in the Honorable Supreme Court, Tushar Mehta promised the FIR will be filed. Why? Because this was the situation. I don't want to get into what the Supreme Court will do on Thursday. It's not for me to say. Maybe those who perhaps read the law, not on channels like yours on the Constitution, but on WhatsApp can say what the Supreme Court will come up with. But let me come up with one last point. We like to say, and rightly so, that we are a democracy. Of course we are a democracy. We are a proud democracy. They're celebrating Amrit Kal, not Amrit Kal, correct? So in the mother of all democracies, are opposition people enemies of the country? Why can't people of the opposition, when you see genuine suffering, go and stand up by people who are suffering? These are athletes, these are medal winners, these are winners, these are some of them underage girls who've been sexually harassed or molested as per them. Is it not the duty of opposition to stand by them? Is it not the duty of every citizen of the country to stand by them? You wouldn't need the opposition to stand by them. The Honorable Prime Minister and his office would have stood by them. He did stand by them. The office did not stand by them. Therefore, they have to go to Supreme Court. This business of why has the opposition gone? Would it ban opposition? Say there will be no opposition. There will be one person ruling this entire country. Say it. What is opposition a bad word in our country? And there were the last allegations of whether Sharad Pawar Saab, Praful Patel Saab or Jai Shah Ji. Have any of them been accused of sexual misconduct? Even Jai Shah Ji, son of Amit Shah Ji, sitting in BCCI and ICC, has he been accused of sexual misconduct? A committee formed by a member of parliament nominated by the BJP to investigate a BJP MP, while the BJP MP continues to be both president and a BJP MP. Justice should not just be delivered, it should seem to be delivered impartially. Does that make any sense to you, Neha? What are we talking on a fabulous channel like yours? We just come up with any allegations and tarnish the name of people just because they're fighting a just cause?
I think it is really sad that, political motives are being attributed to sports persons who've done the country proud. They are our heroes. To tarnish their image because they have decided to speak out, I think personally is sad. But before I go back to Chandrasekhar Luthra, Suresh Kochatil, I will give you a chance to respond to two specific points that Tehseen Poonawalla has made, responding to your earlier arguments. He says it is one thing for political families, dynasties or politicians to run sports federations in this country. Yes, there are multiple examples. It's quite another for somebody to be accused of sexual misconduct or sexual harassment. So that equivalence that you sought to draw is a false one, number one. Number two, he says, are opposition parties or political leaders not citizens of this country? And if there is a perception that somebody who belongs to the ruling dispensation is on the wrong side of the law, then is this not actually the job of the opposition to come out and lend support to those who feel victimized? You want to respond?
He keeps on quoting Supreme Court. Did these athletes go to Delhi High Court? That's a way to go to the thing. Again, I'm not hold a brief for this guy. If he's corrupt, if he's morally corrupt, if he's indulged in all these allegations of being, sack him, arrest him, put him wherever you want. Why didn't the Supreme Court order his arrest straight away on that day? Why did they say that a FIR has to be filed and an investigation has to be done? That is my point. If a normal citizen goes to Supreme Court directly today, the Supreme Court will tell him, and it happened in my case too, in 2018, the Supreme Court will say, you first go to the respective state High Court and then come to us.
But in this case, the Supreme Court didn't, sir. In this case, the Supreme Court did not. It sought the intervention of the Delhi police.
Gentlemen on the other side is Kapil Sibal. If you or me had taken an ordinary advocate, the first thing they will tell you, go back.
So Kapil Sibal is in a position to influence the Supreme Court of India.
Yes, definitely.
He would feel very flattered to hear that.
I've said this in many videos. Dushyant Daves, Kapil Sibal, let them take me to contempt of court. I'm ready. I've challenged this to the Chief Justice of India, and he himself has agreed that his registry manipulates cases to make sure that it is heard before certain judges. I'm not making this allegation. The Chief Justice himself has said it. How come Kapil Sibal gets a hearing within hours, where other people have to wait 10, 15 years, or even 3 years, 4 years for the case to be heard? Okay. I'm trying to say that this is, I'm not saying anything else.
Do you realize, sir, that
Prashant Bhushan, these people all land up in cases.
Okay, sir, can I just make an observation here? You may be well within your rights to criticize Kapil Sibal, Dushyant Dave and Prashant Bhushan, and you think they get preferential treatment, but I hope you realize that by implication you are accusing the judges of the highest court of the land of being prejudiced.
Not just me. I think you have not heard the stories. The Chief Justice himself says his registry has brought in cases which are not even listed before them. He's thrown it back at them. Obviously, there was a corruption case in the registry where certain cases were kind of brought forward. I'm asking, will an ordinary citizen in this country get the same preference which these people got? Simple.
Okay.
Answer
as
yes
a citizen, or no to that. I would like to believe that the Supreme Court of India is not biased, it is not partial, it is not prejudiced.
Come on.
But
K.M. Joseph laughing at Brahmins being slaughtered? K.M. Joseph laughing at it? Will he laugh at Muslims being slaughtered? I mean, we saw that.
Can we not please make this into Hindu versus Muslim, sir? Now we are going on a very unfortunate tangent.
Brahmins can be slaughtered and the judge smiles at it.
Okay.
Judge smiles at it.
To go into
and we saw the hate speech case. What happened to the hate speech case?
Okay, so we are really going off on a tangent here.
One point.
We will bring you back to discuss hate speech, but let's not turn this into Hindu versus Muslim.
One point.
The limited point I was making was that you are also casting aspersions on the judges of the highest court of the land. Tehseen, very quickly, make your point.
Very quickly, I'm sorry, I didn't want to speak, but I had to intervene. No, the matter did not go to the registrar. When these athletes came to Insaf Ke Sipahi and Kapil Sibal, there was a mentioning made in the Supreme Court. Neha, even you as an individual, even if Suresh as an individual, forget a senior lawyer, stands in line, the Chief Justice allows mentioning. When a mentioning was made, these questions were asked why you didn't go to the other forum, and it was then that the Chief Justice got it listed before the registrar. So no, the registrar did not manipulate the case. Let's understand these are athletes of India, Olympic medals sitting on the road, and they went to justice they mentioned the case before the Chief Justice. How can we lie about the Supreme Court registrar just like this on a channel? I mean, at some point we need to draw a line, right? And not make up stuff.
Okay. Chandrasekhar Luthra, who's been listening patiently to the other two guests who've been sparring. Chandar, I will give you the last word. Wrap up this discussion for us. All sorts of political attributes, all sorts of political motives are being attributed now to these protests. Does this give us a sense of how difficult this battle for justice is going to be for these wrestlers?
This was always been very difficult. After hearing all these, I would say things, I can only say go and make your daughter a wrestler. Any political stooge, any political person who thinks that these things or this wrestling or boxing are easy games, let's make your daughter a wrestler. Then you will understand that these girls, these fraternity, this wrestling fraternity, most of the people, rather 100% of people, they come from very small families, very poor families. They sacrifice a lot. Somebody's father is driver, somebody else is, selling milk or doing all these kind of sacrifices. And then they come to this point. They bring laurels to your country.
Yes.
And then you to listen to all kind of arguments that why didn't they go to this forum or this forum? These 10th pass, these 12th pass people or even less qualified people, do they understand this? What kind of, system is there in New India? Our New India? They are not Tejinder Baggas. That's what I am saying. They are not Mohammad Zubair who are arrested and then released like that. This is again I am saying, spare a thought for these people. They are the heroes of this country. They are not there because of any political intervention.
Absolutely.
They are there because they have worked so hard. They have brought so much of laurels that your Prime Minister had to take their, had to call them and say that they are my family members.
He was personally congratulated and felicitated, or rather these wrestlers were personally congratulated and felicitated by the Prime Minister of India when they won those medals for us. So yes, absolutely, I will have to agree with you on that point. These are people who've done India proud. These are our heroes. They've won medals for us at the highest levels. And I, as a proud Indian and as a woman, definitely feel sad to now see these people taking to the streets, waiting for someone to pay attention to what they have to say, crying for justice, and given the political blame game that's now erupted, it just looks like justice could be very, very elusive. All we have so far are 2 FIRs. What happens next? Anybody's guess. The man in the eye of the storm, Brij Bhushan Singh, continues to be WFI chief. Well, on that note, I'd like to thank Chandrasekhar Luthra, Suresh Kochatil and Tehseen Poonawala for joining me on the show. This is a story we'll continue to track closely here on News 9. Thanks very much for watching.